Well, good morning. We're back in Middle Earth, and we are back on Miss Alvarel, who needs to head out to Amon Firn to defeat half orcs and find any orders they might be carrying. And since that was closest to Skurlock Farm, we decided to stop there for a little bit, say hi to everyone, see how they're doing. Now, we're going to aggro a couple of things on the way to our destination, which is kind of funny. I always found that humorous that they try to chase you. Except the lynx. The lynx can stay there. Dead Mount Rider. That's kind of creepy sounding. Oh, I think this is where we want to be. That is not a half orc, but we're going to kill it. You find a scrap of parchment on the half orc's body. The way the attack will come from both directions, north from the Blue Mountain and south up the Greenway. Your force will bear a great deal of the weight, for I do not trust the goblins will do their part. They were given their orders, but I know these creatures. They lack the care or fortitude of your sort. They have claimed the ruins northwest of the Dead Mount, but whether they can be counted on, well, you know goblins. It would not surprise me to learn they have left their own orders lying about. So we head back to Skurlock Farm with the orders. I think it's very funny that they sent the goblins out to do a task, but they also sent out the half-orcs because they didn't trust the goblins. So why, if you don't trust something, why are you entrusting it with an important mission? That's all I'm saying. It just makes no sense. But be that as it may, we have discovered that there are evil tidings afoot. And luckily for us, we're not that far from the farm. We just have to avoid a few things on the way there. Hello, kitty. Stay there, kitty. I don't want to kill you. Melanfang. Malanfang. However you pronounce that.
Half orcs working with goblins. Sounds as if neither side is very happy about it.
Half orcs working with goblins. It sounds like neither side is very happy about it. But I cannot tell from this whether their overall scheme might be or from whom they toil. A half-orc held the quill that penned these orders, I believe, not one of those terrible writers. But for whom did the half-orc write them? If the author of these orders is to be believed, we might learn more from the goblins that dwell at the ruins northwest of Amon Firn. Hod Nari, those are called. Let us hope the goblins are as careless with their own orders as the half-orcs believe them to be. And that takes us right back to the Barrows. Because, you know, we haven't been there already. Okay. So let's head over to Hodnari, and I will be right back. Okay, so we are at our destination, and we need to search the place. It doesn't say specifically to search the goblins, so I'm not thinking we're going to get this as drops off the goblins, though we might. Who knows? Nope, I see a scrap of parchment on the ground. So, yep, we are literally looking for pieces of paper on the ground. Oh, very good. I guess they are as careless as the half-orcs thought they'd be. I'm not sure that this would be quite as random. I would expect the piles to be right near the goblins that we're killing, not several meters away from them. So we need one more. Although I don't know why. Five should do just as good as six, right? And I suppose we can get back on our horse. Well, that was easy enough. Why is it suddenly like just super dark in here? Is it nighttime outside? Yeah, it's getting, no, it's just super dark in there. Okay. That was a little unnaturally dark. What's this over here? Of course, we have to stop and look. It's a ruins, after all. Looks like it should be a tower of some sort. But who knows? There's no entrance. It could just as easily be a gigantic column. Maybe it attached to that at some point, part of a wall. That was a pretty building at one point. And fortunately, none of the stuff has been very far away from the farm. You know, that stone wall is probably good against small animals getting in, but I don't think it's going to be so good against orcs, goblins, and other things. Suitable sorting place. So we're sorting these out. Assortment of scattered paper. Okay. Oh, hello, Manelder. Not quite right. Okay, so we get to try again. Getting there. I don't know if 6 pieces of paper produces a couple of novels, but okay. This might be it. Let that be a lesson to you goblins then. The big ones have ways of dealing with treachery, and if you work against their goals, what happened to the last batch can happen to you and yours as well. You'll be told what you need to know, when you have need of it and not before. The Dark Lord will repay us for our service, why else would the very wisest throw their lot in with him, even as we have done? The dwarves will be easily manipulated. They will follow Skargrim wherever he leads them, no matter who leads Skargrim. I trust the Gaunt Lord can do this, and that should be enough for you lot. The attack will come from both directions, down from the Blue Mountains and up the Greenway across the Old Barrows. Even now the Witch King works to raise the spirits of the dead. With the aid of the Great Fear, none will stand against him or against us. It was the fear that laid waste to the old kingdom that once stood here, and see what little of that remains. The shadows rise in Angmor, but it needs time to gather its strength. Not much time, but time all the same. That's what we're for, my gang and you lot. Just don't get in the way of the riders or the Great Fear. No one would save you then, and you wouldn't want them to. You would just yearn for death. What the fear would do to you doesn't bear thinking about. So you stay out of their way. These are the Dark Lord's most valued servants. You and me are just worms to such as them. And worms can get squashed if they haven't got brains enough to get clear. We'll be called on when we're needed. I don't think goblins are quite that intelligent. Maybe one or two. The rest of them probably didn't understand half of what was said there.
I don't like the sound of that. Any of that.
I don't like the sound of that, Alvaro. Not only do servants of the White Hand move openly in Swansfleet, but in Cardolan and beyond, there are other powers at work. The Witch King and Black Riders, goblins and half-orcs making common cause, and now a dwarf rebellion led by someone named Scargrim. Judging from his name, he is no Longbeard. But if he leads an army out of the Blue Mountains, we will be hard-pressed to deal with him, no matter who he might be. You tell Meneldir that Scargrim was a Dourhand war leader, but he perished long ago.
This has given us a lot to think about. But what is the Grey Fear?
This has given us a lot to think about, but I am most concerned about these mentions of something called the Grey Fear. Is it a person, a spirit, or something else? Whatever it may have been. If it is responsible in some way for the fall of Cardolan or the breaking of Arnor, we need to prevent it from working a similar evil against us today. What does Melonfang have to say about this? Melonfang, have you any words for us?
The Grey Fear? No.
The Grey Fear? No, I have never heard of anything by that name. Is it possible it might be a disease or an ailment of some kind? I seem to remember there was a scholar among the Dunedain who dwelt among the ruins of old Cardolan, though his name escapes me. Handarod may know of his whereabouts. He was encamped outside Karanost, was he not? Perhaps you should return and ask him. Okay, so we need to head back to Serland at Karanost and talk to Handarod.
Hello there.
And that would be Karanost. And while we're riding, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Today I'm having some salted caramel coffee from Coffee Brand Coffee. Really good stuff. Obviously, I wouldn't mention it if I didn't think it was excellent. Nor would I promote it if I didn't think it was excellent. So, if you head over to Coffee Brand Coffee, take a look at the reviews. They have teas, coffees, hot cocoa, cold brew, if you prefer that. And if you use the code Miss Bella Games at checkout, you'll get 5% off your order. Give them a try. Handarod.
Someone or something called the Grey Fear, you say?
Someone or something called the Grey Fear, you say? I have not heard of such a one being involved with the ruination of the Old Kingdom, but I am no scholar. You should speak with Norndir, if you can find him. He always possessed a keen interest in the history of Cardolan, and was always to be seen writing in one of his many journals. Something in your expression brings Handarod to a halt, and he stares at you questioningly. Reluctantly, you tell him that Norndir was slain by Black Riders during the flight from Sorn Ford, and that you and Meneldir discovered his body just off the road northwest of Herne. I'm very sorry to hear that, but especially so for Meneldir. I know they were close. Norndir never had a bad word to say about Meneldir, even after he left us. It was not so for many others. Handarad idly drums his fingers upon the hilt of his sword. Perhaps Norndir can still help us, Alvaral. I told you of the journals he kept. Well, I know at least one place where he hid some of them. To the east, beneath one of the towers of Karanost, there was a hollow place. Search there and see if Norndir recorded anything of this grave fear in the years before he perished. So we need to find the hiding spot for his journal in a hollow place beneath the easternmost tower and search it. So we need to go that way. Okay, there is a set of stairs here. Although she's like half not using them. So we need to head out this way. Why do I get the feeling we should be down there? It did say beneath the tower. Is there any way down from here that's not going to get us dead? Over that way. Okay. Alright, so this is the tower we want. I'm pretty sure. We just have to find the hollow. Probably near where the mobs are, since it's the only mob I've seen in this spot. Nope, not here. This place matches the description given to you by Handarad. You've earned loot from a nearby corpse. Use the alerts panel. Your backpack is overflowing. Pending loot panel. Oh, I must have a full bag. I do. Okay. Read his journal. Oh, we're gonna come back in here and I guess settle in for a nice read. You should bring the journal to the location it describes, the throne room in Karanost. Okay, why do we have to go to a specific location to read it? That doesn't make sense. But we will do so. Graphics look a little wonky here. A little too sharp and crisp edges right here, and it's slightly floating. Yeah, here too. Not very well aligned there. I've seen worse. Definitely seen better. So we need to head that way. I don't think we're gonna get... Oh wait, there's a stair over there. Okay. While in the throne room of Karanos. Actually, it's a bridge, not a stair. Yeah, this was a beautiful place at one point. I think this would have rivaled Minas Tirith. I think we're supposed to go this way. Hopefully. I have no idea which way we're going. Oh, there we go. Like somebody else is in here. Well, hello, random person. I hope you're having fun. Oh, hi. What are you doing? Being rude? Trying to sneak up on me? Okay, so... Oh, hello. Oh, you're ugly. You're very ugly. You're not in here. Okay. Don't mind the random noise in the background. That would be my roommate's computer. This appears to be the location about which Norndir wrote. And we have found a treasure cache. Very good. Read his journal while in the throne room. The writing is so evocative you can almost imagine King Torondor II.
You will think I have taken leave of my senses.
You will think I have taken leave of my senses, Narndir wrote. But after so much study, I feel as if I have come to know these figures of the ancient past. When they suffer, I suffer. When they mourn, I mourn. And when they triumph, oh no, one could understand the joy I feel at their triumphs, few though they might have been in those dark years. I feel as if I know them. Amlath, the builder, once Prince of Carlin, and then later Prince of Arthedain at Fornost, Eldamasil, Prince of Rudar, Kinslayer and Accursed, and Prince Tarandar, with whom I feel a close bond. The third and youngest son of King Arendor of Arnor was doubted not by only his brothers, but also by his own people. Those who lived in Cardolan during his rule as prince called him Tornador the Afterthought, but it was an epithet he would overmaster when corrupt nobles promised plunder to the hill folk in the south if they rose up against the prince. He rode forth and vanquished the invaders. Tales of his valor grew, and Torandor the Afterthought became Torandor the Forthright, beloved by his people. So it was that when Arendor, king of Arnor and father to those three princes, died of an illness without naming a successor, there was more than one claimant to the throne. There might have been blood spilt then, as there would be later, but Amleth suggested a compromise. Let the kingdom of Arnor be divided, he said to his brothers, with each of us to rule a province in friendship and alliance with each other. Tarnador then became not a prince, but a king, and he was known as King Tarnador II, for there had already been a Tarnador in the line. As the king of Cardolan, he ordered a throne built and crown forged at Caranost, and the fortress became the capital and the new ruling seat of the young kingdom. And even now, as I write these words, I feel tears welling in the corners of my eyes, for I see the seed of treachery and death growing in the very foundation, and know what next must transpire. Now we need to read his journal while near the top of Amon Firn by climbing the path located on the north side of the hill. That's very specific. So we have to go all the way back over here. Okay. And it looks like we will be doing that next time. But until then, bye for now.